Mr. X, you have some of the most rare and high-end custom collectible statues out there. Which ones are your favorite? It's kind of weird I'm using my name talking to you, isn't it? Well, today we're going to find that out together. And you know what? It may change tomorrow. So stay tuned right now. I'm Mr. X. This is the Xtreme channel. One of the big parts of the Xtreme channel is we have Xtreme Collectibles. In that, statue collecting is a big thing. And I have tons and tons of statues, both licensed, so approved by a licensor like Marvel, and customs, which are private commissions. Recently, I launched a video of my top 10 licensed pieces that are simply my favorite. Today, we're going to do it for the customs. And just like with the licensed pieces, it changes from day to day. It changes because sometimes my preference changes, and sometimes I get new pieces in. I think right now there's 6 or 7 pieces I have yet to unbox. So let's dive right in, and just like last time, we are going to start with honorable mention. These are pieces that I felt need to have some type of recognition, but they may not necessarily make it to the top 10. So in no particular order for these pieces, let's start off with this one right here. This is custom X-Force Wolverine vs. Ninjas. Really great thing about this piece is it has 2 switch out torsos. I actually have a secondary base I'm going to get so I can display both of them. It is just one of the best Wolverines out there. I think the base is kind of messy, otherwise it would have been in the top 10. It's still phenomenal. And I've seen some repaints that other people have done that actually may put this in the top 10. But it's just badassery. It shows Wolverine truly who he is, Wolverine. Next piece in honorable mention is a piece that's probably here because it doesn't have a lot of competition. But this is a custom 1/4 scale Penguin. I love this piece. It has 3 switch out heads. It really encompasses what Penguin is about. He's after Batman. It has some reminiscence to Batman Returns, played by Danny DeVito, even though that is clearly not what this is referenced on. It is a very small run, just like all these custom pieces, and I just couldn't be happier with it. Seems weird I stopped right there, right? Well, I ran out of shit to say. My next honorable mention piece, and I should mention honorably, that almost all of these, if not all of them, I'll let you know, most of them, I've actually done reviews on. So if you're interested in more details, go check those out. Starting with this one, which was a recent review. This is custom quarter scale Sentinel vs. Psylocke statue. This is part of an entire line. This is the second piece from this line I received. I actually, in this next month after this is airing, I'm receiving 2 more pieces, the Iceman and the Cyclops. But I think this is the best Psylocke statue on the market. There's a lot of controversy because no one seems to be able to get Psylocke right. But very happy to own this piece. Definitely a great honorable mention. And let's stick with X-Men vs. Sentinel. This is from a different commission group, but it is Beast vs. Sentinel Hand. Very, very cool piece. This was the first piece that came out from this custom group. And as a reminder, we don't talk about where customs come from. But I love the savagery of this. It's Beast in his raw. He's just wearing underwear, and he's ripping the shit out of a Sentinel. Very, very, very cool piece. 3 more honorable mentions. First is this one right here. This is Crossbones. Really rare character. I would almost call this a tertiary, not a secondary character. And this piece is huge, and I hate having less popular characters with huge bases that take up so much space, but this guy is worth it. I got him this year, was really surprised at how much I liked him, and was so glad that I jumped on the train late. But sculpt paint is fantastic. Concept is just awesome. Really gives you an appreciation for the character. These next 2 are going to be in the same video here because they're in the same display case. But this first one is a custom Crow. And it came with 2 portraits. One is more comic accurate. One is more movie accurate. I prefer the movie accurate one here. But Eric Draven is sitting on the tombstone of his dead fiance and just really empowers and shows the Crow. But also, moving over here, this is my movie statue case, you see my custom quarter scale Blade. This one I have not done a review on. I think it may be one of the few on here as I'm looking. I think there's 2 or 3 I haven't done reviews on. The likeness on this is perfect for Wesley Snipes. This one has like 4 different arms. It can show swords and guns and the boomerangs that he uses. And I just love this. He looks great with both the sunglasses and without. Very, very cool piece. Not to mention the base is fantastic as well, showing all the vampire hieroglyphics. Now, the last honorable mention, I think a lot of people won't agree with me on this, and it may be my tie to the character, but it is this custom 1/4 scale Morbius statue. And as we look at him and I say 1/4 scale, that's 4 times smaller than he'd be in real life. Every single piece that we're looking at is 1/4. But this Morbius is awesome, has 4 different switch outs. This is for the portraits. This is my favorite portrait. He's on the gravestone of his wife, and just really badass, shows Morbius to the max. And again, this could be like the Penguin. There is not a lot of competition out there for Morbius statues. But with that, let's jump right into the top 10 counting down. And as a reminder, the way I define these is I look at it and I say, shit, I like that. I like that a lot. And as I do that, I need to throw in one more honorable mention. So, fooled you. This is a piece I just got last week, actually, and I'm surprised this is making it, but God, as I stare at it, it's just awesome. And it's right behind the camera, but here you can see it. This custom wolf killer, sculpted by Eric Sosa. This is an honorable mention. This is such an awesome piece. It's so simplistic and over-exaggerated that it just makes it stand out in the collection. I love this piece. It's if I ever part with a lot of Wolverines, I will definitely keep this one. The sculpt and paint just blow me away, and it's just the simplicity of the concept that speaks so much, I think, is what really takes it to the next level. Now let's start with the top 10, and one of the things you're going to see in the top 10 is there's a lot of throne pieces, starting off with this Apocalypse on Throne. This piece is huge. I would actually say it's 1 and 3.5, so almost 1/3, but Apocalypse is huge. I love this. 3 different portraits. Really shows his power, has his Egyptian ties. This is one of the first reviews I did a long time ago. Huge fan of this piece. Number 9 of mine, I'm actually showing you a video from my YouTube review on it because he's in different places and putting them together would be difficult for this review. But is the custom quarter scale Logan vs. Hulk from ARP. The detail on this is unbelievable. Traditionally sculpted, and if you haven't seen this in person, you don't know what you're missing, what true art looks like on a statue. The sculpt on this is just extremely hard to beat. Surprisingly, it actually wasn't higher in my list, but that's probably because I'm not a huge fan of the portraits. But when I say that, I think the sculpt is done amazingly. They just aren't my Hulk or my Logan, pretty much. But I love that piece. Absolute killer. Number 8 is my favorite character. It is Silver Surfer. This is one where it's kind of a diorama. He's coming out of a portal on Galactus's hands. Again, a lot of switch outs, both with the arms and the portraits, and tons of light up features. You don't see any of them here, but I did an unboxing and a review on this. It is an awesome piece. The Silver Surfer itself, I don't think is the best I've ever seen. There's some more than one out there that beat that, but I think the concept of the statue and the execution overall really puts this as number 8. Number 7, this one I have to have a little disclaimer. It might be licensed, but I don't really know. It's by a company called Dream Figures, which is fairly new. This was their first piece, and it's actually right behind me, but here's another picture. This mummy is amazing. It is not only very elaborate, that tells an awesome story, but so much detail, not only in things like the base and the sarcophagus of the hieroglyphics, but the mummy itself just looks awesome. They make a mummy, Band-Aid breath from Monster Squad, look scary and badass. I really appreciate that. They have some other future projects coming out. I don't know if I'm going to go in on those, but it looks great. Number 6 is another throne piece. This is a Loki on throne piece. I think this is the first review I ever did on the channel, and I actually have another Loki on throne piece in transit right now, which may have aired before I launched this video. But the cool thing about this, I think, is the concept. The sculpt and paint are very good as well, but the concept, all the Avengers are turned to stone. It is such a unique, such an elaborate concept. This is a highly sought-after statue. I think it goes for $3,000 to $4,000 on the secondary market. And I am just a very proud owner of this. I don't think this will ever leave my collection. And I'm going to do an Xtrumble with the new statue once it comes in. Number 5 is also a throne statue that may be beat soon because I have another one coming in. but this is the custom throne Doom statue. Dr. Doom on throne. Again, the sculpt on this was done by Caleb. It is amazing. The concept is awesome. Shows Doom so powerful, so majestic. There's some controversy with this statue, but I love it. I think it's one of the best Dooms out there. And as I said, I have one coming from my favorite sculptor soon, so we're going to do an Xtrumble with that, but I may end up keeping them both. Maybe painting one White God Doom. We'll find out. But very, very cool piece. One of the best. Now, before we get to my final 4 pieces, I have to tell you 2 things. Number 1 is these 4 are all from the same commission group, so that's where I may be a dick rider. Number 2 is what my number 4 piece is probably most people's number 1. And I think it is an amazing piece. I love it. It's just not my favorite. And again, it might fluctuate from day to day. But number 4 is Phase 2 Custom Wolverine vs. Wendigo. This is an awesome, awesome piece sculpted by the famous Alejandro. This was a kit, and so I had it professionally painted. It came painted from the factory too, but the detail, it really encompasses Wolverine, how badass he is. I went extra bloody on mine. Very, very cool piece. My number 4, most people's number 1 if they own it. Number 3, as I said, from the same group. You've seen this before. I've said this is my favorite, and then things change. See what I did there? This is custom quarter scale Magneto vs. Sentinel. This is the same line of the Psylocke you saw in Honorable Mention. Very, very cool piece. I think it's the best Magneto statue out there. If I get rid of the rest, I will certainly keep this one. You guys know I'm a huge Magneto fan. He's one of my top 5 favorite characters. Awesome, awesome piece. And that brings us to number 2. Number 2 will be surprising to most people as well. It is also made by the same person who sculpted that Wolverine vs. Wendigo. It is my custom Sabretooth. I love this piece. I finally, after years of waiting, I got it painted this year. It was custom painted. It only came as a kit, and I think this is awesome. I can't tell you how much I love it. It has 3 different portraits. They are all fantastic. This one will never leave my collection. He's not one of my top 5 favorite characters, but definitely in my top 10 because Wolverine is in my top 5. I love it. Custom Sabretooth number 2. Number 1 shouldn't be a surprise to most people because I've stayed pretty steady on this. It is with my favorite character, sculpted by my favorite sculptor, and the concept of this custom Silver Surfer out of Black Hole is just unbeatable, in my opinion. I don't know if this will ever be beat as my favorite statue. This is a museum piece. This could be, it's not a museum stance by any means. It could be in a museum, and that's why you see the originals of these going for $3,000 to $4,000 plus. Maybe not as much as Wolverine vs. Wendigo right now, but I love this piece. It is my favorite. It will never ever leave my collection. My wife will leave before this does. She doesn't watch this, so it's okay. But there's my top 10, guys. I hope you liked it. Let me know what your top favorite pieces in your collection are. Just so you know, this was the second video of 4. The next 2 are my most anticipated POs arriving in 2020. They're going to do both custom and licensed. And at the end of 2020, we're going to do what I received that was my favorite in both custom and licensed. So really appreciate you guys watching. If you missed my licensed one, my top 10, you can check it out here. Also have some of my other videos. Don't go yourself. Look how clean I kept it today for you guys.